Bentham-Hooker System of Classification, the Part 2. I am Korpol Anuradha, Assistant Professor of Botany, working at Government Degree College, Sadashivapet. Bentham-Hooker's classification is an important topic in your taxonomy part. In the Part 1 video, I have given explanation on the classification of dicotyledons. Now, the Part 2 deals with the monocotyledons and gymnosperms. In the introduction of the Part 1 also, we have noted these points. Just for the sake of revision, once again, we will learn these points. Bentham-Hooker's classification is a best example of natural system of classification. Classifications are of three types. On the basis of the characters they have taken to classify the plants. They are artificial system of classification, natural system of classification, and phylogenetic system of classification. Linnaeus classification is best example of artificial classification. Linnaeus classified the plants on the basis of number of stamens present in the particular plant. Monandre, diandre, like that. He has divided the plants into groups. Natural system of classification is the classification which is based on many morphological visible characters. Phylogenetic classification is one more classification which is not only based on the morphological characters but also depends upon all the other anatomical, genetical or evolutionary characters. In your syllabus you have Engler's and Pranttl's classification. Engler's-Pranttl's classification is best example for phylogenetic classification. Today we are dealing with natural system of classification. Bentham-Hooker, George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. These two belongs to Britain botanists. They came to British India and worked in Botanical Survey of India. They have taken morphological characters of 97,205 species and categorized them into 7,569 genera, again into 202 families, like that, so on. It's a huge classification, very large classification. They have tried a lot to find out as many as species they can. They have published all these classification details in a book named as Genera Plantarum. This classification of Bentham and Hooker's is made on basis of A.P. de Candolle's classification. Bentham and Hooker, they divided phanerogams into three classes. They are dicotyledons, gymnosperms, monocotyledons. Dicotyledons are the plants which possess two monocotyledons in the seeds and reticulate venation, taproot system, pentamerous or tetramerous flowers. All these characters, 4 characters. First one is presentation of 2 cotyledons and the second one is presence of taproot system. Third one is presence of pentamerous or tetramerous flowers and the fourth one reticulate venation. So if the plant shows all these characters, they comes under the dicotyledons. And the second category of the plant they have divided into gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are naked seeded plants. We will talk about gymnosperms and monocotyledons in this video. Already in the part 1 video we have completed the lesson on dicotyledonous classification. Please refer that video for the first part of the topic Bentham-Hooker's classification. So, the placement of the gymnosperms in between the dicotyledons and monocotyledons is become a controversy and it has become a demerit of the Bentham-Hooker's classification. Gymnosperms are the naked seed bearing plants. Seeds which does not possess seed coats comes under this gymnosperms, and this group is divided into 3 families: Cycadaceae, Coniferaceae and Neetaceae. So Cycas, Pinus, Neetum are the examples of these families. Monocotyledons have kept after gymnosperms. Monocotyledons means, the word mono means single cotyledon, presence of single cotyledon, monocotyledons. Remaining characters of monocotyledons are trimerous flowers, presence of trimerous flowers. In the dicotyledons we have seen tetramerous, pentamerous flowers. What is this pentamerous, tetramerous and trimerous condition? Trimerous flowers are the flowers which possess the floral parts like petals, sepals, stamen, corpels in 3 number or in multiples of 3 in number. For example, if you take Liliaceae family, there we can see the perianth in 2 whorls, each whorl contains 3 petals, tepals. There we called them as tepals. 3 are multiples of 3 in number. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 like that. Tetramerous, pentamerous are also same. In pentamerous, all the floral parts in 5 are multiples of 5 in number. In tetramerous, all the floral parts are 4 and multiples of 4 in number. And the next characteristics of the monocotyledons is presence of adventitious root system, and the next one is appearance of parallel venation. We can identify a plant, we can distinguish a plant whether it is monocotyledon, belongs to dicotyledon, on the basis of the simple thing by seeing, by observing its venation. If the venation is reticulate venation, the plant belongs to dicotyledons. If it is parallel venation, belongs to monocotyledons. So monocotyledons are divided into 7 series. These series are further divided into families, but there is no orders are present in monocotyledons. So these monocotyledons starts with microspermae and ends with glumaceae. So totally 7 series are there. First series in the monocotyledons is microspermae. The word microspermae, micro means small, spermacedes. So plants with small seeds are included in microspermae. In the microspermae, one most advanced family, Orchidaceae, is kept. Actually, Orchidaceae having most advanced floral characters, and it is placed in the first series of the monocotyledons in microspermae. That means this Orchidaceae is treated as primitive. Then the other families like Liliaceae. So this is not appropriate position for the Orchidaceae because it's an advanced characteristic family. The second series in the monocotyledons is Epigynae. Epigynae, the word itself denotes the epigynous condition. Epigynous condition. In the epigynous condition, always the ovary is inferior. Ovary is inferior in condition. Perianth arranged in 2 walls. The inner wall perianth is petaloid in nature, and outer wall is sepaloid in nature. This Epigynae included 7 families like Iridaceae, Amaryllidaceae, like that. Here one thing, Amaryllidaceae having close relationship with Liliaceae, but in the Epigynae, Amaryllidaceae family has kept, but the Liliaceae has kept in Coronariae series. So the related families, sister families, are separated in distance. The third series is Coronariae. Perianth is petaloid, trilocular, superior ovary. Perianth is petaloid, trilocular, superior ovary is the characteristic. Example of the family is Liliaceae. I already told you Liliaceae and Amaryllidaceae are having more than 90% similar characters, but they have been separated here. Amaryllidaceae kept in Epigynae and Liliaceae kept in Coronariae. The fourth series is Calycinae. Calycinae. In Calycinae, perianth is sepaloid, sepal-like perianth. Perianth is sepaloid, having superior ovary. It is having superior ovary. Here the example we can take. Example of Palmae family. Ericaceae family. Calycinae is having Ericaceae family. And the fifth series is Nudiflorae. Nudiflorae. Perianth is reduced. Either perianth is reduced or absent. In the Nudiflorae, perianth may be in the form of scales, or anyway it is reduced, or sometimes the perianth is completely absent. Actually, if you look at the evolutionary trends, wherever the perianth is absent or it is in reduced condition, then it will be treated as an advanced character. So on the basis of that, the Nudiflorae has given a appropriate position because it is in the it is after the Calycinae, Coronaria and all the things. Example of the Nudiflorae is Lemnaceae. And the next series is Apocarpae. Apocarpae. Apocarpus condition. Apocarpae means apocarpus ovary. Syncarpus ovary, apocarpus ovary. The perianth may be present or it may be absent. Again the same thing. Perianth may be present or may be absent. Example here is Alismataceae. Alismataceae is the example. Next last series in monocotyledons is Glumaceae. In the Glumaceae, we have one family that is Poaceae, Graminae. Most advanced family. It is a most advanced family. Poaceae having reduced perianth. Very much reduced, scale-like perianth. Here that perianth is known as lauricules. Lauricules are there. Perianth is very much reduced and having more advanced characters like spike inflorescence and compound spike, that is compound spike inflorescence, and even the pollination is also by anemophily. These are all advanced characters in which we can see these advanced characters. That family is Poaceae or Graminae. As you all know that Graminae is a biggest economically important family because the rice or wheat, jowar, sugarcane, and you can see that bajra, millets, all comes from this family only. It's highly economically important family, very important family. And not only that, the Graminae is most advanced family, having so many advanced features. Very much advanced features are present. That Graminae family kept in the monocotyledons. It is kept in monocotyledons. Even that too in the last place. Okay. So here monocotyledons having 7 series. Now let us discuss about the merits of the classification of Bentham and Hooker system. George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker, these two are botanists. They came to India and they surveyed all the Indian plants and they gave a natural system of classification. It's a large and natural system of the classification. This is one merit actually, because natural system of classification will take characteristics from many parts, not only floral but also from many parts. So, what are the merits? First, based on floral characters. Bentham-Hooker system of classification has done. It is mostly dependent upon the floral characters. Floral characters. What are the floral characters? How the petals are arranged, whether they are united or they are separate. How the gynoecium, what is the position of gynoecium, whether hypogynous condition, epigynous condition or perigynous condition. So, they have taken mostly floral characters. But here the thing is, they have taken characters from the other parts of the plant also. If you look at the difference between the dicots and monocots, we can see dicots are having reticulate venation and monocots are having parallel venation. That means that character they have taken from the leaf, vegetative part. Even root, taproot system, adventitious root system. So that is depends upon the character of fruit. Here, based on floral characters means most characters they have taken from flowers. Then what is the difference? If we take vegetative characters, then we take floral characters. Is there any difference? Is there any strong difference is there in between these two? Yes. The vegetative characters are nothing but if we take them from the stem, leaf or roots, they may be vary in single plant also. They may be vary in species. It means they are dependent upon the availability of the nutrition, and vegetative characters mostly dependent upon the biological factors like pathogens, and they are dependent upon the weather conditions. That means they are not stable. But when we took the floral characters, they are very much stable. So, whenever the classification is done on the basis of the floral characters, it's a stable classification. So, this is the one most important merit. The second point, based on many characters. I already told you, they have taken characters not only from flowers. They have taken so many characters. Even they have taken bark. They have based on bark. They have given classification on the basis of leaves. Everything. They have taken so many characters. That's why their classification is known as natural system of classification. So, the next point is monocots were treated as most advanced. In this, Bentham and Hooker's classification, already we observed that first they kept dicots, then in the second position they have kept the gymnosperms, and last position has given to monocots. Then that is nothing but they considered, they agreed that the monocots are most advanced than the dicots. Actually, Bentham-Hooker's classification is not a phylogenetic classification. It is a pre-Darwin classification. It is made before Darwin's theory. But even they have not considered the evolutionary trends also. They have kept the monocots after dicots. Even in the phylogenetic classification like Engler's and Pruntyll's classification, they have given primitiveness to the monocots. they kept monocots prior to the dicots. Engler-Prandel's. I am talking about Engler-Prandel's classification. Their classification is phylogenetic classification. But they kept monocots prior to the dicots. The merit of the Bentham-Hooker's classification is that they kept monocots after dicots. I already told you that Bentham-Hooker's classification is based on the A.P. de Candolles's classification. It is made up of on the basis of the A.P. de Candolles's classification. A.P. de Candolle united, he has not separated dicots and monocots. He combined both plants. But indigenously, this Bentham and Hooker treated dicots and monocots as separate groups, because lot of variation is there in between dicots and monocots. So they have to be separated. Now let us come to the position of the families. First family, first order. If you look at the Bentham-Hooker's classification, that is, you all know, that is Rannell's order. Rannell's having magnolian flower. In this Rannell's order, we can see the families like Rannaceae, Magnoliaceae. The flower is known as magnolian flower. Magnolian flower is a primitive one, having primitive characters. It's not an advanced one, primitive one. If floral parts are infinite in number and the flowers are actinomorphic in nature, these are all characters, shows that the flower is very primitive. Even after taking the consideration, nowadays we are taking consideration of evolutionary trends and genetics, everything. The findings of present research are supporting the classification of the Bentham and Hooker, who placed the Rannell's in the first position. They treated the Rannell's flower as most primitive flower, and they kept Rannell's in the first position. And in the Polypetalae, if you look at the Polypetalae, Umbellase order is the last order in the Polypetalae. Umbellase is an order which is having the umbel inflorescence, most advanced character, and having so many most advanced characters. That order has given appropriate position and it has been kept in lastly in Polypetalae. One more thing we have to realize in Polypetalae is that Polypetalae divided into three series: Thalamiflorae, Disciflorae and Calyciflorae. Based on the position of the gynoecium, as we have learned already, Thalamiflorae, thalamus in convex position and hypogynous condition. Even in the Disciflorae also hypogynous condition. So wherever the hypogynous condition is there, we can say easily the ovary is superior ovary is present. But in the Calycinae we can see perigynous and epigynous flowers. Perigynous and epigynous. Here we can see convex type of thalamus and half inferior ovary or inferior ovary. That means inferior ovary is treated as advanced character than the superior ovary. Hypogynous flowers are treated as primitive than the epigynous flowers. So, as per the evolutionary findings, nowadays botanists are accepting that theory that hypogynous condition is primitive. So, the placement of the thalamiflorae, disciflorae and caliciflorae is appropriate. Now, let us come to the gamopetalae. Here in gamopetalae, again it has been divided into three series: inferae, heteromerae and bicarpellate. Inferae is having inferior ovary. See the difference in between the polypetalae and gamopetalae. In polypetalae, it started with thalamiflorae hypogynous condition, and in the gamopetalae it is started with inferae which is having epigynous. Here is a controversy in between the placement. In the polypetalae, Bentham and Hooker treated hypogynous condition as very primitive one. When it comes to the gamopetalae, epigynous is treated as primitive condition. Okay. Now we are looking at the merits of the classification. So only we will concentrate on the merits. Later we will discuss about the demerits. The last order in the monocots is Glumiferae order, having Graminae, Poaceae family. In the Poaceae, if you look at the Poaceae, the inflorescence is compound spike and the perianth is reduced to lodicules and pollination is anemophily. Flowers are very small. So, all these conditions, reduced number of floral parts and anemophily, all these conditions, all these characters, they are most advanced characters. So, automatically, the position of the Glumaceae at the end of the monocots is an appropriate one. It is one merit of the Bentham-Hooker's classification. And again we will go to gamopetalae. The next point is heteromerae position in gamopetalae. In gamopetalae, after heteromerae, bicarpellate is placed. In heteromerae, we observe that it is having superior ovary hypogynous condition and the plants having more than 2 carpels are included in heteromerae. And in the bicarpellate, same character, the plants having hypogynous condition and plants having 2 carpels. Here the number of carpels are restricted to 2, have kept in bicarpellate. So, from heteromerae to bicarpellate, there is a reduction of carpel, number of carpels takes place. Whenever the floral parts reduction is there, then it leads to the advancement of the character. So, reduction of the carpels is advanced character. So, the placement of the heteromerae before or prior to the bicarpellate in is appropriate one. The last Ardens Anomali, they have formed a series that is Ardens Anomali. Wherever the dispute is there, wherever the characters are unknown, they have taken all those families. Wherever they have some confusion to keep that family in a certain group, they have taken all the dispute families and they have grouped them into the Odens anomaly. So, instead of framing, instead of introducing all these families into any one of the above groups, they just keeping aside is one more merit point of the Bentham and Hooker's classification. So, all these points refers that Bentham Hooker's classification has so many merits and it's a best classification, natural system of classification. It has mostly related with our Indian flora. So today our India is following the Bentham Hooker's classification. Now let us look at the demerits of the Bentham and Hooker's classification. Only few demerits are there when we look at the Bentham and Hooker's classification. The first foremost important one is the placement of gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are most primitive plants. They have kept in between dicots and monocots, as we all know that. Dicots are having two cotyledons, gymnosperms there is no seed coat, and monocots are having one cotyledon. Actually, the gymnosperm should be given place prior to the dicots because they are very much primitive. But the placement of gymnosperm is a demerit. And the second point of demerit is placement of Orchidaceae. Orchidaceae is an advanced family having most advanced floral characters and it has been kept in microspermae of monocotyledons. The first order. That means whenever any family or any order which is kept at the first stage, it means they have treated it as primitive one. Automatically even they have treated this Orchidaceae as primitive family. But Orchidaceae in reality it is most advanced family. So in this context the Orchidaceae family has not given appropriate place in the taxonomy of system of taxonomy of Bentham and Hooker. Next point is position of inferae in Gamopetalae. Even I told you already in the Gamopetalae the first series is inferior ovary. Inferior ovary is actually a advanced character, a new character, but the inferior has given a wrong place. The place position is appropriate. It should be after bicarpellate because the heteromere and bicarpellate both are having the hypogynous condition. Whenever we are talking about the hypogynous condition character should be primitive. It should be prior to the epigynous. But here the thing in the Gamopetalae is reversible. First they kept inferae and afterwards that inferae is followed by the heteromere and bicarpellate. So the next demerit of the Bentham Hooker system of classification is absence of orders in monoclamidae and monocotyledons. If we look at the monoclamidae and monocotyledons, they have divided monoclamidae into 8 series and monocotyledons into 7 series. Again monoclamidae, each and every series is again divided directly into families. Even in the monocotyledons also the series divided into families directly. So here absence of order is not there. Directly series is divided into the families. And the last one is placing closely related families in distance. This is one more demerit of the Bentham and Hooker's classification. For example, if we take Amaryllidaceae and Liliaceae, both are closely related families. Even they are considered as sister families. But they have been separated. And The Liliaceae is kept in one series Coronariae and the Amaryllidaceae has been kept in another series. So, closely related families keep in distance. Not only that, some more demerits are there. If we take Monoclamidae classification is based on so many characters, geographical characters, and for example, multi-ovulate aquatica, multi-ovulate terrestris, these two series, they are based on the plants where they live, whether they live in water or they will live on land, terrestrial. They are terrestrial or they are hydrophiles. The two series depends upon that one. Remaining all other, they have taken so many characters. So here some similarity is absent in the Monoclamidae also. So these are all the demerits of the Bentham and Hooker's classification. So some demerits are there, but if you look at the merits also, so very good part of the Bentham and Hooker's classification merits, so many merits are there. That's why we are following the Bentham and Hooker system of classification, and it is very, very important. Bentham and Hooker system of classification is very important in your examination. The question comes like this: describe Bentham and Hooker's classification and give its merits and demerits. Very important essay question. And please, I am giving one assignment to you. Write this question and learn this question. Please visit the previous video, that is Bentham and Hooker system of classification part 1 and part 2 also. Both are very important. Make notes and prepare well. Thank you very much.